Hello folks and welcome to the show. My name is Asa Morris and this is Weird Week. And thank you so much for joining us, whether again or for the first time. Make sure you hit up the link tree in the description for links to all of our things, the merch, the socials, the Patreon, especially the Patreon, and of course the podcast. That one. Which is a weird little doozy this week, in which I interview a close friend of mine about shared dream spaces and men in beige. It's available everywhere the podcasts are available. Season 2 is just kicking off, so make sure you're subbed so you don't miss any of that. Also, please do the big 5. Like, share, comment, sub, bell. Did I hit all the fingers? Let's try it again. Like, share, comment, sub, bell. And let's go. Because folks, on Sunday, somehow, as per usual, I began to notice a trend in the posts that were popping up while browsing our new, which is, for the record, incredibly time-consuming and tedious. I do it for you. I love you. This particular trend was civilian-shot Tic Tac videos. There were a handful, but I'll keep it to a minimum, such as this one, which shows a brief compilation of 3 different sightings. The first of which has the observer from the ground and with their eye, not just through the camera, noticing that there are no wings, eliminating the plane possibility.
There's a plane, surely. No. Where's the fucking wings? Huh?
See? You getting on the camera?
Yeah.
There it is.
But it's got no fucking wings, whatever the fuck it is. He's up high.
Huh?
He's up high.
Yeah, I saw a plane.
Alright guys, so I got 2 different examples for you. The one on the right is from Sydney, Australia, and the one on the left is Galt, Missouri. Now these objects, these crafts, these tic-tac shaped UFOs appear to be the same. There are no wings. They appear to have a straight path of flight. There's no visual means of propulsion.
I'm not saying that these are definitive, of course, but the pattern caught my eye. However, also on Sunday, this video from El Paso, Texas popped up, which at first seems to be an out-of-focus airplane. That is, until an odd pause in mid-air before it continues on. Planes, you know, can't do that. Monday was also an interesting day, also with a theme. This time, leaks. First up, we had this one. Originally posted to 4chan and later everywhere else, it reads as if it were observations on various UAP or USP and seems to come to the conclusion that the craft being cited most often are in fact intelligent machines or simply AI piloted, possibly being deployed by biological intelligence. Now, coming from 4chan, obviously that's a huge red flag. And as many people pointed out, it lacked proper government or scientific formatting. It's most likely a fake. However, it did lead me to a 2014 Popular Mechanics article, which argued that hyper-intelligent machine life, or advanced AI, is most likely the dominant form of life in the universe. Which scared me, and I went to lay down for a bit and stare blankly into the great cosmic void inside of all of us. The second leak came from Twitter user @CongressPassUBI, who claimed to have received this book, How the UFOs Work, Fully Explained and Dangers the Government Has Been Hiding from You. The document is long and intense, seemingly written in 1980 by Richard C. Phillips, a graduate of Auburn University apparently, with a degree in mechanical engineering. I don't know what to say about it. Some of it reads very closely to common UFO lore and predates some of your more well-known characters like Lazar, for example, but with similar explanations, almost validating it in spots, although it carries multiple themes that paint the author as though he sees himself on a sort of religious crusade, which obviously is another big old red flag. Tuesday was June 1st, and because of that, there was an absolute saucer load of people screaming, "Where's the report?" Because most media outlets, be they social or mainstream, were saying that the UAP report was coming in June, which eventually got watered down to mean June 1st to the general public, which was not the case, and never has been. Folks, the date is June 25th. June 25th. Also, side note, it's not a public report. It's going to Congress, not us. The best we can hope for is leaks. But honestly, you're going to be let down either way, and we'll get to that in a minute. Beyond that, though, on Tuesday, Lou Elizondo popped up on the Black Vaults podcast, where he discussed the recent news of his deleted communications within the United States government, which we covered last week. And here's what he had to say about that.
Clearly, from a perspective of not just posterity, but from a legal perspective, anything that I was engaged in involving the 9/11 Commission trials is considered discoverable in a court of law. It's considered evidentiary, and so that must, by law, be preserved for posterity's sake. And there's no destroy 25 years. It stays around forever. So when you had indicated to me that the Pentagon begrudgingly admitted that my correspondence, my emails were destroyed, obviously I was very disappointed in that, because frankly it's illegal in some cases, especially as it related to some of my work I was doing, but also disappointing because there are several categories of information that I was involved with that are specifically exempt from that destroy on, let's say 2 or 5 or 10 years. Yeah, there you have it. Am I surprised? Again, not really. I am, because that's such a bold act for them to do. I mean, at that point, it's, they say, "Oh yeah, Lou had nothing to do with ATIP." Okay, well, where's his emails? Oh, we don't have them. So it's kind of this weird double negative, right? In one case you're saying that ATIP wasn't real and we never studied UFOs and I wasn't part of it. On the second half you turn around and say, "Oh well, we don't have any of his emails." So it's kind of bizarre.
Also, a few more interesting moments popped up. Here's some of those.
You hit on something that really struck a chord with some people in the mainstream media, and that is, okay, are we dealing yet with another iteration of the Pentagon Papers? Are we dealing yet with another issue like we did with Watergate, where all of a sudden elements in the government are running rogue and doing things that they shouldn't have? And I think that's given a lot of people some concern, because if they're going to lie about this, what else are they going to lie about?
Right. My part, but now we're in June when this report was going to come along. So I was thinking, okay, what are they trying to do? Do you feel that this is potentially going to be a delay for this UAP report, or do you believe that those are maybe two separate issues?
I think they're two separate issues. I hope that the UAP report is delayed. I don't think it will be. And from my understanding, it's going to be rather underwhelming. Which is really a shame. My hope is that there'll be a follow-on report, because honestly, 16 pages, 17 pages isn't really enough to have a comprehensive report of the last, 70, 80, 90 years worth of military sightings and documentation that exists. But, I'm not in DC right now. So not up to me. But with all due respect, the Condon report didn't have Christopher Mellon. It didn't have Alex Dietrich. It didn't have Dave Fravor. It didn't have Jim Slate. It didn't have Ryan Graves. It didn't have me. This is, if they try to pull something like that, I've said this before, then they're going to have a real issue on their hands, because that's going to force guys like me who don't want to do it, but I will run for Congress, and I will make sure that if I get in a seat there, I will make sure total transparency on everything, not just UAPs, all the other crap that I know that goes on behind these closed doors. I will make sure that people come to heel on that, and that the will of the American people will be represented, period.
Nothing really huge, but just seemingly an interesting change in attitude again from Elizondo. Also, this is one of many times recently he's brought up running for Congress. Make of that what you will. I have spent much breath complaining about people misidentifying obvious things in the sky. Most recently, those complaints seem to center around Starlink satellite trains. But in the past, my eyes have rolled over and over again at misidentified planes, swarms of birds, floodlights, etc., etc. So on Wednesday, I was pretty happy to see this video pop up, which helps identify birds, aircraft, and what you're actually looking for, something weird. Please, bookmark this episode and reference it whenever you need it. Also on Wednesday, a ghost video finally got my attention. I figure, it's been a while, why not entertain it?
Okay, it's like midnight right now. I was sleeping on my couch, and I heard a loud bang. I've heard it before, but I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was the dogs on the deck or something. But I think if I sit and wait, you'll see I just seen it. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. There it is. It's my cupboards. Let's see. Holy shit, I'm just shaking. I'm just gonna sit here and videotape for a minute. See what happens. See what happens. This is scary. Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh! Holy shit. What the fuck? Okay. I'm cool. I'm cool. Let me get up and... Ooh, I'm just shaking. Look at my goosebumps. Okay. It's my grandma's old house too. It's old. I don't remember that light being on. Let's see what this looks like. I don't want to go too close to. That's just creepy. I have no idea. Like, there's nobody in my house right now. Like, nobody. I can hear something in that room. Okay. That's fucking weird. What is that? Somebody's in that room. Ah! Whoa! Okay. Look at those goosebumps. I'm gonna go look. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Ooh, it's fucking scary. There's like nobody in here. I'm freaking out, man. This is scary shit. This is really scary shit. I knew I could hear stuff before.
So at first, I thought strings, someone hiding in the back room. I kept looking for explanations. The dude genuinely seems freaked out, and there doesn't appear to be anyone else in the house. The only rational explanation I could really come to was that I couldn't see both of his hands at the same time in the video. It is somewhat possible that he was pulling fishing line with one hand and filming with the other. It was really the hanging beads that made me the most skeptical about it. Thursday was a rough day to sort through the muck. Why, you ask? Well, on Thursday, the New York Times posted an article titled, "US finds no of alien technology in flying objects but can't rule it out," which, before we get rolling on that, is apparently one of 3 titles published and then changed. And also, it seemed a good number of people just stopped reading after the first half of that sentence. According to the article, American intelligence officials have found no evidence that aerial phenomena witnessed by Navy pilots in recent years are alien spacecraft. but they still cannot explain the unusual movements that have mystified scientists and the military, according to senior administration officials briefed on the findings of a highly anticipated government report. The report determines that a vast majority of more than 120 incidents over the past 2 decades did not originate from any American military or other advanced U.S. government technology, the officials said. That determination would appear to eliminate the possibility that Navy pilots who reported seeing unexplained aircraft might have encountered programs the government meant to keep secret. But that is about the only conclusive finding in the classified intelligence report, the official said, and while a forthcoming unclassified version expected to be released to Congress by June 25th will present few other firm conclusions, senior officials briefed on the intelligence conceded that the very ambiguity of the findings meant the government could not definitively rule out theories that the phenomena observed by military pilots might be alien spacecraft. In my opinion, the problem with this is the obvious bias in regards to both the headline and the opening sentence, wherein they attempt to lead the reader to believe that these things are certainly not alien spacecraft. Because of this, many people began to argue that the government said it was not aliens. I don't know if it is or not, but that was not what was said here. Throughout the article, the point was made and reinforced that we do not know what these things are. We don't officially have proof of anything besides the idea that these are not from the United States, and that if they are from another country, they have somehow leapfrogged us in technology by at least a century, which seems unlikely, especially when considering the military is only acknowledging the past 17 years of sightings. That would mean that a foreign adversary would have had to have this technology up and running in 2004. So let's get back to Elizondo for a minute. He took to Twitter immediately and posted this. If the New York Times reporting is accurate, the objects being witnessed by pilots around the world are far more advanced than any earthly technologies known to our intelligence services. It's time to release the full report, videos, and data that we've seen in the Pentagon. And I agree. The fact of the matter is, there are only a couple of options left. First, obviously, the government is lying and they're ours. Second, the government is lying and is well aware of what these things are. Which, by the way, leads to many other horrifying conclusions once you start following that road. Third, the government is being truthful. And if that's the case, these objects are definitively not from our society as we understand it. Sit with that for a moment. If this report is true, this is certainly disclosure. If this report is true, we are, maybe subtly, but officially, saying we are not alone. It's the only logical conclusion that you can make if you believe this report. On Friday, CNN's Rachel Crane sat down with current NASA Administrator Bill Nelson to see what NASA has to say about all of this.
Americans have long been fascinated by UFOs, and the public has seen the videos that our Navy pilots have taken. But do you think that we have been contacted by extraterrestrials?
Well, I have talked to those Navy pilots, and they are sure that they saw something real. And of course, we've seen their video from their jets. What is it? We don't know. So now that I'm here at NASA, I've turned to our scientists and I've said, would you, looking at it from a scientific standpoint, see if you can determine so that we can have a better idea. We don't know if it's extraterrestrial. We don't know if it's an enemy. We don't know if it's an optical phenomenon. We don't think so because of the characteristics that those Navy jet pilots described as they saw it move around.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
The bottom line is we want to know, and that's what we're trying to do.
What do you think it is? I mean, what's your personal take on it?
I don't have an idea. That's why I turned to our scientists.
And what have they said to you?
Well, they're looking into it. Would you like me to call you when I get an answer?
Please, because I want to know just as much as you want to know, just as much as the public wants to know.
Of course.
And you know, the Pentagon, they will soon release their report on UFOs. But when people think of mysterious things flying in the sky and aliens, they think of NASA. So what have you guys been briefed about in terms of this report? Have you been involved in any way?
I was actually briefed on this a couple of years ago in my capacity on the Senate Armed Services Committee. NASA appropriately is going to look at it through the lens of its scientists, and that's what we're doing.
But do you think the agency should be more involved at this point?
Well, we are, and I've started it. I've been here a month, and I've started it.
And are you guys working with the Pentagon then on that report?
We are not directly working with them, but I can guarantee you if we find something, the Pentagon will want to know.
So NASA's on board, apparently independently of the United States government, and has been for a little while. Also, as far as people jumping on board to figure this shit out, China announced that they also have a UFO task force. According to thedebrief.com, Chinese analysts have been overwhelmed in recent years by rapidly mounting sighting reports from a wide range of military and civilian sources by what the People's Liberation Army, the PLA, are calling unidentified air conditions, or UFOs. According to SCMP, China's Unidentified Air Conditions Task Force has been turning to artificial intelligence to help get to the bottom of recent UFO sightings. One advantage of AI is that it can think outside of the box, checking crumbs of information scattered across many datasets created at different times and locations, and drawing links unseen by the human eye, to help determine whether sightings were caused by a hostile country, amateur aviation enthusiasts, nature, or other reasons, said Chen Li of the PLA's Air Force Early Warning Academy. Interestingly, while folks in the US have been thinking China is behind our sightings, apparently Chinese officials believe that some unusual and unexplained sightings near the South China Sea and other sensitive waters near China could be the results of increased US military activities. Alright, let's break it up a little bit. That's quite a lot of UFO stuff. I had more, but let's not go crazy with it. So anyway, on Saturday, we got another sky trumpet video. It's a short one, but interesting. More interesting, however, is that when I was scrolling Reddit the next day, Sunday, there were even a few more sky trumpet videos that popped up, but it was Sunday, so we'll cover that next week maybe. Definitely more than the one a month that I usually see. I love when things just crop up all at once. All right, so I want to just try out what might be a new segment. The various paranormal fields are filled with attitudes all over the spectrum. Curiosity, hope, desperation, resentment, and many, many more. And when you are involved with it, as I apparently have made myself, you tend to go through all of them, which is why I think it's important to make sure you pay attention to this last one, fun. So, this new segment, fun, goofy, paranormal shit I found on the internet while I was trying to break up the serious tone. Okay, that I definitely can't just call it that. So anyway, this week on paranormal goofy shit. No, not that either. We've got this fella from Reddit user Epo Haras. Mothman with a pearl earring. Look at that fella. Never looked so good. Excellent work, Epo Haras. Thank you for making my day a little bit better. And that's our week. If you see something throughout the week that you would like me to cover on this show or the podcast or wherever, hit us up on any of the socials or, of course, directly at lowstrangeness@gmail.com. If you would like more in-depth discussion on various reports, activity, sightings, my own history, people I know who have weird shit happen, all of that, follow the podcast. That guy. It's available everywhere that podcasts are. It just started season 2, so make sure you sub now. Get in at the high point, which I guess is all points, because it's always at a high point. I'm not going to harp on you about it. Just sub to it. It's worth your time. Or ignore it. I don't give a shit. Also, if you have some time to kill and want some more lighthearted paranormal fun, head on over and check out my friends, the Graveyard Goons, a paranormal-themed prank call show, which, if that's your thing, is really hilarious. They're great folks. Give them a sub, and I'm sure you won't regret it. Anyway, once again, I am Asa Morris. Thank you so much for joining us here on Weird Week, whether again or for the first time. Don't forget to like, comment, sub, bell, don't forget to like, comment, sub, bell, share, all of it. Tell your mom, tell your friends. Hit up our link tree for links to all of our things, the socials, merch. I don't know what I'm pointing to, the Patreon, especially the Patreon. Please save me from my day job, or at least help me buy better gear. Please, 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 please. Take care of yourselves and the people around you, and I'll see you next week when I'm sure I'll say,